Hey friends, so today we are working on teacher appreciation gifts. So these are going to be fun and easy things that you can make for the teachers in your life that they are actually going to want and that will be easy for you to make. So let's pop into it. By the way, if you are new here, you are crafting with Kim Byers. Okay, so for craft number one, we're going to make this darling cookie tag, and I'm going to show you what to put in the box and how to box it up. But let's go ahead and look in Cricut Design Space. Okay, so here in Cricut Design Space, this is a look at all the projects that we're creating, but let's just focus on the smart cookie. So I created this tag, and the great news is that you don't have to recreate it. I am going to give you a link down below to my Cricut Design Space file that you can just open up in your app and recreate it so you don't have to do any design work. Okay, so let's go ahead and send it to print. For ease sake, I'm actually going to print all of these designs at one time. So 3 of the designs that we're doing today are print then cut. And so I'm just going to print them all together because I want to save paper. But basically we want to add a bleed and we want to use the system dialog box because that's going to allow us to choose the best quality print that our printer can give. And so you want to make sure that you go in and you choose a photo quality, and you want to look under the quality and do best. Whatever your printer is capable of doing, you want to make sure you get all the ink. Next up, we choose our paper, and I'm going to be using cardstock. You can either use for intricate cuts, but I'm using a really heavy cardstock, so I'll be using the 100 pound. Now we just load our paper in our printer and select print. I've had the same printer for about 6 years, and I love it. It has continually done a really good job for me. I'll link it up down below in case you guys want to check it out. The color is coming out great, and you'll notice the black edges, those are your bounding box, and so when you put this onto your mat, Cricut's going to be able to read where to cut based on that bounding box. Okay, so let's take it to the table. So now what we want to do is we want to put it onto our mat. I'm going to use the blue mat for this because I want it to be tacky enough to hold, but I don't want it to curl my paper when I pull it up. If you have a less tacky green mat, you could use that too. So everything looks good. I use my brayer to put it down, and we are ready to cut. So first the machine's going to read the bounding boxes and then it's going to cut out. Okay, and a little trick, when you unload your mat, bend the mat so that it is popping up your design. Don't bend your design, just bend that mat and it'll pop right up. Now it's time to have fun with our little cute designs. So what we want to do is I have this little box, and I got this at Target, and it actually has the ribbon already in it. I put some cookies in a little cello bag, and I got a gift card because the gift cards are important. Depending on your teacher, you could be giving them food, Target gift cards, coffee, all the things. And so what we're going to use are these little 3D foam adhesive squares, and we're going to make that cookie pop off of our tag. I love using these just to give a little dimension to my cards and to tags and things like this. So we're going to do that. We'll just peel off those backers, and now we just overlay that onto our tag just on top of the other cookie, and it gives it that raised effect. It's so sweet, just a little extra something. Now let's package it up. So we put in our cookies. I have a little bit of filler in there, and then we're going to put in our gift card and close her up and put our cute little tag on it. And I think teachers are going to love this. It's super simple and it's adorable. Idea number 2, we're going to do a little beach themed gift. So if you are excited or your teacher is excited that the year is done, this is just going to be a lot of fun. And once again, it's a print then cut design. And since I've already showed you how to do the print then cut, we're just going to move right into packaging it up. Okay, so for this gift, we have a beach towel, we have some sunscreen, we have this cute little printable. You could throw in a gift card. I have some ribbon, and again with the little foam adhesive dots. And then I thought we could embellish our flip-flops a little bit with these raised sunshines. I thought that would be super fun, especially when you have extra space on the sheet. Why not print off cute little embellishments like this? So we just peel off the backs, and then we will add those to our flip-flops. Okay, so super simple and so cute. Now what we want to do is put this on our cutting mat, and we are going to cut a little slit with the X-Acto knife, and so that way we're going to be able to put our ribbon through our flip-flop. And voila, another super cute gift idea. And next up, number 3 might be my favorite of our crafts today. This is for an art teacher, a sip sip hooray, it's the last day gift. This is gonna be so much fun. So popping back into Cricut Design Space, so we have our tag that is print then cut, but now we're going to cut Infusible ink. And so I actually did a little template here with the white and then the gray, and I did that because I wanted to show you how I'm going to use the mug press to do this tumbler. So if you own a mug press, you know that a 20-ounce tumbler is not going to fit in it. So what I did is I did a white area for the top half of the tumbler, and the gray area is for the bottom half of the tumbler, and I will cut them and press them twice. And so I'm just using the white and the gray as a template. We'll turn those off before we send everything to cut. Now on the mat, we just need to remember to mirror image our Infusible ink and select Infusible ink sheets for our material, and we're ready to cut. Okay, so this might be my new favorite. So this is called Rainbow Triangles, and this is an Infusible ink sheet. It's like a gradient. It is so pretty. I feel like I'm going to be using it on all the things. And there's also some really darling marbled ones that are, I think they're new. I haven't seen them before, just recently. So I'm going to be trying those out as well. So Infusible ink comes in these black sleeves, and you want to put them back in these black sleeves. They keep light from diminishing the ink. But if you notice, this is not nearly as bright in person as it is on the box. But don't worry about that. If you've not used Infusible ink before, the heat brings the color out, and so it's going to be just as bright as it is on that box. So let's go ahead and cut down what we need, and we're going to use my paper trimmer for that. I use it for everything just to keep all of my materials straight and be able to get, you know, max out of my materials. But then I also want to pick which side that I want for the top and then what I want for the bottom. Now we just place our Infusible ink on the mat and use a brayer to put it in place and cut. And just like paper, we want to bend the mat and not the material. And then to weed Infusible ink, it's more of like a cracking and popping method. So you just want to crack those things apart, and you can peel them off with your fingers. Voila, all done. Okay, so now it's time to turn on our mug press and get our design onto our tumbler. The first thing we want to do is we want to take alcohol and clean our tumbler. We want all the lint and all the fingerprints off of the tumbler. And then we just want to place our design down using the top lip and it's making it as tight as possible. You don't want any bubbles. You want the ink to be pressed firmly against the tumbler. Put some heat tape on it. Now we're going to wrap it in butcher paper. So this comes in the kit with the Infusible ink, but if you run out, you can use butcher paper or parchment paper. I've used parchment paper a lot. I'm lining it up so I can tell where the break is in the design, because the mug press isn't going to close completely. And I'm putting this silicone wrap around my tumbler so that it will fit, and I will put this down below so that you guys can grab that. It has 3 different sizes in the package. Notice that I allowed the tumbler to go all the way through the cycle, and then I picked it up and rotated it and reinserted it and ran the cycle again. And that's to make sure that I got a good press on the area that was in that gap. Now make sure you allow your tumbler to cool completely, and then we'll pull off the butcher paper and do the big reveal. Oh my, this is my favorite right now. I am loving this pattern. And now we're going to do the same with the second piece. By the way, I'm keeping this excess. I'm gonna find something to do with this. So I'm actually gonna put that in a little baggie and save it for later. So now let's go ahead and do that same process. We're going to put this design on the bottom half of the tumbler, and then we're only going to press the bottom half. Okay, so we put our parchment paper back on, we put on our heat tape, we put on our silicone wrap, and then we're holding it up and not putting it all the way down to the bottom so that we are not over pressing onto the area that already has ink. And just like before, we're going to take it out and rotate it and repress it, and then we're going to allow it to cool completely before we do the big reveal. I love this pattern. I think my art teacher is going to adore this tumbler. I know that I do. And now it's time to package up our tumbler for giving. Fill it up with candy or a nice gift card, and then just use some ribbon to attach our darling little tag. And so you can pop that through, and then maybe use something like a little glue dot to hold the ribbon in place so it doesn't shift. I really do love how this turned out, and I'm going to be using this color a ton more. I got to make myself something. Let's go ahead and pop into our fourth craft. And last but not least, we're just going to make a card for a gift card. So I chose to do it in the shape of an apple. I mean, why not, right? So we're just going to clean that up a little bit. I cut the stem off of this one, and then I am just going to use glue dots or zots to attach the two together and to put my gift card on. And I think this turned out super, super cute. And what teacher doesn't love a great gift card? Thanks so much for crafting with me, and I'll see you in the next one.